Hi guys, it's Blackie for Shaman's Forage Bushcraft. In this, I'm continuing my staying cool discussion. Now, it's the heat of the day. It's very close to 100 degrees and high humidity right now. And it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It is way too hot to be out here doing a lot of effort. Now that doesn't mean we're just going to give up everything, but it means we need to think and do what we're doing. Do what we do for a reason. Now, my clothing I'm wearing, because we talked last time about clothing, is cotton. This is an old U.S. Army jungle fatigue shirt. I've wore these since the 70s. I've got more of them over time, of course. But they are fantastic for use out in this because they're ripstop poplin, and once they're wet, like this one is right now with sweat, it stays wet. So it cools me as I move. It keeps me hydrated, so to speak. It keeps a layer of moisture against my body so I stay cooler. It's also irky and sweaty and nasty and stinky and clammy, but you come out here to enjoy life. I didn't say it was going to be comfortable. Now, my neck scarf. Now these are one of those scarves I've mentioned several times in my videos and things like that. These are cotton as well. This one, mine is. Some are nylon, but this is a cotton one. And I dumped it in a stream back down yonder in the bottom and cooled it off. And now I've draped it around me and let it re-wet my shirt, wet my neck, wet my head. Now, if I was starting to get overheated, like heat stroke or something like that, I would take this and do this with it and get in a breeze. I know, it looks stupid. But as the wind goes through these little openings, it actually gets a severe cooling effect. A swamp cooler. And it's extremely cool inside of this. It's actually shocking how cool it is when you do it. It'll help bring down my core temperature. Now, water. Carry as much water as you can. I carry 2 canteens. I got this one and I got a big one in my pack over there. But that's the base of the tripod. And stay hydrated. Drink a lot. Now, the other thing to do is to, as I recently stated in my priority video, I need to recognize that it's hot. That right now is at one of the worst times to be out here doing stuff. Because it's going to take maximum amount of effort on my body's part to cool me. And yes, I know my cardiologist is watching this and he's right now grabbing the phone and calling me up to bite me because Blackie had a heart attack and he's not supposed to be getting hot yet. Well, not horribly. And so, but I want to come out and do a little exploring, and I want to do a couple of videos for you guys. Now, let me see, where's my hanger? Oh, there's my hanger. One second, guys. Now, I've slung up my hammock. I've taken my hammock, I've put it in position where I've tried to catch a little bit of a breeze. Hang my hat off the back of the camera. Like that, good. I've come out here, I found a shady location, and I've slung up my hammock. I'm going to get out of the heat. Now the advantage of this hammock, put me up in the wind column. And even if there is no ambient breeze, swinging like this fans me and therefore helps me cool off and get my core temperature back down. Core temperature is the vital component here. Now we talked about this when we talked about how to stay warm. Keeping that heat in. Well, now we're going to reverse the process. We want that heat to get out. We want it to come to the surface of the skin, evaporate, and cool us efficiently. To do that, we have remained hydrated. We've got clothing that assists in that. And now we're going to let our activities assist in that. The sun's at the high point. The temperature is the highest. Humidity is the highest. We're basically being steamed just walking around. Now's the time to find a place that's a shady area. Big, cool breeze, shade. Hold on. Okay, sorry, had U.S. Army scout helicopter buzzed me real good. He come up and stopped and orbited and went around. I guess he's playing hide and seek with an Apache right now. But back to, I want to maximize my body's ability to cool. Now, I'm getting out of the sun. I'm getting up off the ground. I'm generating cool. I want to loosen my boots up, or better yet, if I'm not going to be walking around, take my boots off. Pull my socks off. Let my feet breathe. Dry my feet. Because trench foot, immersion foot, that's where your feet stay wrinkly, where they've been sweaty forever. Carry extra socks, and you want to dry your feet if at all possible during the day. I keep a couple of pairs of socks with me this time of year. I want my clothing to be very loose fitting so that as I walk it fans, and I want it to work to maximize my ability to cool. My activities I'm going to limit during the heat of the day. I'm going to do my most stressful stuff in the beginning and the end of the day when the sun is down a little bit, you know, before 11 o'clock and after like 3 or 4 o'clock is when I'm going to do it. Well, where you're at may be different, but here in the south, right on the Florida border, our sunset and sundown is really till about 8:30 at night in June and July. So I get a lot of, you know, hours to be out here. That's the basic idea, guys. Limit your activities. Remain cool whenever possible. During the heat of the day, get out of the environment. Find a cool shade, sling up a hammock, get out of it. Oh, and if you come across a spring or some cool water source, have a rag or something and dunk it into. My hat that I just hung back there is wet right now because not only my sweat, but when I got to the creek, I dunked my hat. That's a felt hat, and once it's wet, it cools as well. The body is very sensitive about keeping the brain cool. And so I want, and that like right now, my hair is soaking wet. I want my head cool and wet and damp as all possible. If I start feeling irritated, if I start getting that little headache, that little buzzing in the head, that's an indication of dehydration. It's also an indication I'm overheating. So I need to take steps. Watch for these steps. You should also study heat exhaustion, heat stroke, and how to treat it in the field. Because if you're out here in this environment, it can happen very quickly, especially to someone, remember like we said, who is not acclimated, and therefore they can, in an hour, you know, depending on how athletic and all they were to begin with. I have seen people come out to go fishing, you know, that they're couch potatoes. They work in an office. They're never out in the environment. And they come out wearing flip-flops and shorts and a little t-shirt, and they're going to walk around and fish, and they're in the sun, and they get hot, and they're trying to get a little sun for a suntan, and the next thing you know, they're sick because they're not acclimated. So you need to, I really can't stress it enough, acclimating to an environment. And yes, Mr. Cardiologist, I know you watch my videos. I am getting out of the sun. I am not overdoing it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft. Wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.